Alright, so in this video I want to go over how to begin editing. Basically how to put a file in a track and how to cut it up or trim it to get the pieces of the audio bytes that you want from your larger audio file. So we've already imported files and they're over here in the files window. And so let's say I have an interview file and I want to find the soundbite, my favorite sound bites, and just kind of trim this larger audio clip. So I put the audio clip here in the interview one track. You can name these tracks whatever you like. I just name them according to the types of files that I have to make it easier for me. So I have this clip here in the interview one track, and the easiest or the simplest way to go about it is just to listen to the track and you'd be like, oh, wait, I think the person said something interesting a little farther along, maybe like a minute in. You go there. Nope, that's my wife asking my daughter if she wants some blueberry bagel. That's the piece I wanted. So I go over here, and then what I can do, so I have the little time marker thing right there. That's where I want to cut it. I go here to the edge of the clip, and I just move this here to where the marker was, and then I remember, I probably just want that much of the clip. So I got that. That's my clip. Then I could, if I want, I could just move that around. I can put that in the track here. Oh, okay. So that's what I want. I just want that little bit. So I just trim it all the way to the end there. So that's one way to get a small piece of audio out of your larger clip. The fun thing about this is, say that you can just keep fiddling with it until even once it's all set. So I can restore it to its original file by just adjusting these. What I'm doing is I'm putting my cursor here at the end. I'm looking for the bracket and the arrow. This can be a little challenging with a laptop screen. And then I'm just kind of moving it there. I get the bracket. I'm looking for the bracket here. And I'm moving it there. Moving it there. So I'm just using the brackets here. If you remember when Gary came to class, he called this non-destructive editing. In this multi-track editor, it's the audio file is not being altered. It's just how it's still, and it's the condition that you imported it. It's just manipulating how much of it wants to show here in your track. If you say you click on your track, this is the wave editor. Any editing you do in here is destructive. It will change the file that you imported. So I always like to just keep the editing in the multi-track. Let's say you do this by mistake and you chop it up and you change the file permanently. This is just another reason why you should always back up your files before you start your project. Since you're using your iPhones and using voice memo, there's a good chance you'll probably have the file still on your phone. Another thing to do is just to email the files to yourself or upload them to Google Docs. Just always try to have 2 or 3 copies, please, so you don't lose your hard work. Okay, so that was one way, by manipulating the edges of the clip. Another way is, let me just bring this back to what it was, is using the razor tool. So the razor tool is right up here. You just click on that. You put the cursor, so you can move the little time code thing around to see where you want to listen to. Like, no, I don't want to, that's not it, so I can move it like, maybe this is where people are talking. So I can go here. Oh, that's my son. That's what I want to cut to. So you have the razor tool here. Then I move the cursor right to where I want it to begin. Make sure it has that little razor. The cursor turns into the little razor and not the volume. See, this yellow line controls the volume, so on these small laptop screens, the cursor might not know if I'm trying to adjust the volume or cut, but I wait till I get that little razor cursor, and that's where I cut. So right now I go back to the move tool, and I can move them around, or I can highlight this and be like, I want this out of here. And so what I did is I clicked on it and deleted it. Now, is that piece of audio gone? Nope, I can just take the cursor again and move it that way to retrieve it. But I just do Control Z. So this is what I clipped with the razor. So I want it to go up to here. And then I go back to the move tool to move the pieces around. So let's say I want this piece to go in front. And I want to go back to the razor tool. I want this piece. Oops, this piece, and this, and this. I can tell, and then let's say I want to get rid of this. I do this, and let's say I like this byte. I don't know where to put it. What some people do is they just drag it all the way to the end of the file for later. And when they're editing, they try to figure out where it might fit in better. But you can move it over there if you'd like. Or some people make a separate track. So I can create a new track, add stereo audio. It doesn't really matter for your projects, I don't think. I would just pick add stereo audio track. I don't know what. Yeah, so what I'm doing is I'm creating a separate track for these audio bits that I don't know what to do with. I might want to save till later, and what I would do is I would mute it so that I wouldn't hear it when I'm editing. All right, so that's 2 ways of cutting up audio tracks, and then using the razor tool or using the cursor at the edge of the clip, getting the little bracket and moving it, and then using the move tool to move them around. You can even move them into different tracks like I showed you. You can create new tracks. And so we got these. Yeah, so say this is an interview track. You got the person talking, and in between them talking was this fun natural sound. You can cut that out and put that in your natural sound track. And then, if you're editing, you can move the tracks around too. You can move that up there. All right, so that was cutting up audio files.